Well, howdy, I'm John Mark Dempsey, and we are having a second cup of coffee with Dr. Deana Steeber, who is the superintendent of the Sulphur Springs ISD. And you have had a trying few days, to say the least, and as most people know, that in recent days you've had various threats on social media against Sulphur Springs ISD. Let me see if I can state this accurately, and then you correct me if I've got the basics wrong. There are 2 separate incidents that we know of.
Correct.
2 arrested in Dallas area. 2 kids, 2 young
detained
kids, or I'd say juveniles, shall we say. And then a Sulphur Springs High School student was arrested. So how do you learn about these threats? In what way is that manifested to you that this has happened and it's something that you've got to respond to?
Yeah, so usually we learn about it by it being reported to us. You know, sometimes we may see something, ourselves, but many times it's either a student notices it on someone's social media account, or maybe a parent notices it and shares that information with us, and that's what happened in both of these situations.
So it's not something that's sent directly to Sulphur Springs ISD or posted on some Sulphur Springs ISD Facebook page or something. It's usually personal Facebook pages.
Right.
Or social media pages, probably not Facebook so much. And you said something to me before we turned the microphones on and the cameras on. The unusual thing in these 2 cases was that the 3 young people involved were young women. Yes,
they were. Yes.
Which is just not exactly what you expect, is it?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. This has been happening in schools all over North Texas, we know, and I guess we're too focused on Texas being close to home, but also seems to be happening in other places around the country. Any thoughts that you have on what's causing it? What's behind this kind of thing?
Sure.
As somebody who is close to students and young people.
You know, I don't know that we know exactly what's causing it. What we want to do, and I'm sure every other district in the nation would want to do, is partner with parents and, just encouraging parents to be in their child's social media, have hard parameters around that. And then, from the school district standpoint, kind of working towards teaching them proper digital citizenship and, when is it appropriate to have my device out, when is it not appropriate to have my device out, and then just good digital citizenship as far as how we treat each other. Just going back to something as simple as being kind in how we respond and to each other.
Of course, the problem is not with 99% of the kids. It's maybe 1%, if that, where the problems come from. So that makes it even more difficult to address. I saw someone on your Facebook page, I saw the Sulphur Springs ISD Facebook page, suggest the idea of an assembly where you sort of address this.
We did see that, yes.
And I thought that was a pretty good idea.
That is a good idea. That is a good idea. I know at our high school this week, in the announcements, Mr. Mohan talked with the kids about just about the consequences of behavior such as this, but we are discussing potentially doing something like that as well. And
you've said in some of your statements that you've put out that school district will have zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. It's, fortunately, both of these situations, the threats were not credible. However, it's the risk is far too great. You can never just assume that. You've got to take each one seriously and investigate each one to ensure that's the case. Safety is the hands down the most important thing that we do. It even comes before education. We have to ensure that when parents drop off these precious assets to us, that we're doing everything we can to ensure their safety. And over the last several days, that I've felt so blessed to live here. The response from the community was unbelievable. And, just the Sheriff Tatum and his team, Chief Ricketson and his team, and then, of course, our ISD Police Chief Lieber, just, they've just flooded us with support, and over the last several days, and we've been very appreciative of that, and we're grateful that we live in a community, where everyone just kind of surrounds the school and loves on the kids and teachers. And
we just have a minute or so left, and so this is unfair, but can you describe the security system that exists in the schools that would guard against some terrible incident?
Sure. So, some of it I can share, and then some of it,
right.
I wouldn't be appropriate for me to share.
Understood.
But, of course, our buildings are locked, to anybody just, coming in. We have police officers at every campus. And those are the main things that we have, and then we have some internal procedures and things as well as far as inside the building.
There are police officers on every campus.
Yes.
More than one?
Some campuses, yes.
Okay, but at least one at all times on every
yes
on every campus. Well,
yes.
that's helpful. All right. Well, I'm sorry that this is something we have to talk about, but it is
right.
Obviously that's what's in front of us here.
It is.
And let's hope we've heard the last of it.
I would sure hope so.
Yeah, well, and I would think so. But Dr. Deana Steeber, our guest on having a second cup of coffee or whatever this thing is, and I'm John Mark Dempsey. This is KSSD.